Okay, thanks for tuning in. This might actually be a longer video. I know the bald-faced hornet removals seem to get the most views, so I might as well try to make this a longer one, or at least make it more informative than some of the other types of wasp removals I do. So I'm heading out to Cochranville this afternoon. It's August 7th, 2018, so afternoon, about almost 4:30, so hopefully I'll get there by around 5. So yeah, they got a bald-faced hornet nest under their eave. It's like I think it's like a rancher home or something like that. And the guy said it got a little bit too big for comfort. Let it go a little bit too long, so they start getting bigger this time of year. The farther it goes into the year, the bigger they get. They usually reach their full size by late September, early October, and they can be over like 2 feet to even 30 inches or more tall. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. So anyway, for all my bug gurus that are watching this one, you guys will probably find it interesting, or everybody else might be a little bit confused, but it's basically it's been an interesting year. The eastern yellow jacket vestibula maculifrons, usually I get a lot of removals for them. They're like one of the most that I do, but I only removed 3 of them so far this year. But I have been busy. I've gotten just as much volume, but it's mostly been for bald-faced hornets and Germanica, German yellow jackets. Maybe it was due to the cold spring. We had a very rainy spring here in the Northeast. So that could be part of the reason. Maybe a lot of the ground nests failed, so a lot of the structural nests and other nests that are under eaves and stuff, like bald-faced hornets or in trees. I haven't even got a lot of tree ones. It's mostly been bald-faced hornets attached to structures. So maybe they've done well. They've been more protected from the weather. And then the other interesting thing is, so I've done like 3 maculifrons removals, eastern yellow jacket, and 2 removals of the widow yellow jacket vestibula vidua. Vidua, V-I-D-U-A, means widow in Latin because they have very thick black bands on their abdomen. They're a very dark species of yellow jacket, and I've done 2 vestibula vidua removals. So the species is actually I don't encounter much, if at all. Like there's years that I don't see any vidua. I could go 2 seasons without removing any vidua. But this year has been 2 so far. I've seen a lot. I've seen some traps that have had vidua in them. And also when I did a consultation on Saturday, I saw some vidua worker gathering wood pulp. So it seems like it's a good year for the widow yellow jacket vestibula vidua. And they both, the 2 nests that I removed were in structures. One of them I filmed actually this year. Back, I think it was like July 19th actually. I did a review. Anything that I film I remember. And then there was one since then. There was a very big nest for the species, but they're actually that might be my favorite species, vestibula vidua. So if anybody wants to Google any of this stuff, feel free. You might find it interesting. But there's just basically a lot of different. We have like 12 different species here in my area. Some of them I encounter a lot, and others I don't very much at all. So yeah, I'll start up the camera when I get there. It's going to be a vacuuming one. Probably works the best for this, and I don't use the CO2 because this is actually my second job. It's just the summer gig that I do. I can make thousands of dollars doing this, but I only do it in the summer. And I have another job that's my full-time stuff. That's more that I went to school for and everything. So this is just something that I'm interested in. I'm a wasp enthusiast, and figured I could do a better job than a lot of the so-called pros out there, and inform others in the process, and learn about, kind of study different things about their behavior and there's always exceptions to nesting biology and behavior, so I can kind of learn some things by doing this. So that's why I do it, and I make some more money in the process. So it's kind of a win-win situation. Win-win-win actually, because the customer's benefiting too from no chemicals and just a safer alternative to not being screwed over with a contract that a lot of exterminators do. I charge for the job, and that's it. And if they want to hire me again, great. If they don't, it's their decision. So yeah, just my spiel before I get there. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to use the vacuum method because I don't use CO2, because CO2 involves working at night, and I have another job where I have to get up for in the morning, so I can't be out all night doing this. I have to do this in the late afternoon, early evening, so I need to vacuum them up. And I need to remove the nest, otherwise they'll repopulate. If I just remove the nest, you figure the average bald-faced hornet nest has 200 to 400 workers August, September, so I remove the nest, and then during the day, just come out there and remove it. You figure half the colony being out, so that could be up to 200 workers that are come back from foraging, they're going to be pretty pissed off that their nest is gone. So that's why I have to hang out for about an hour and vacuum them up. So yeah, that's why I don't use the CO2. Yeah, it would be nice and convenient if I could drive around all night getting these things, but that's just, my circumstances are different from some of those other dudes out there, I guess. So I just thought I would address that, because I don't take offense to those comments or anything, but I, just wanted to address it because people might honestly wonder why I don't do it a certain way, and that's the reason why. So yeah, I appreciate the curiosity into that. And also thanks, David, for taking all those calls yesterday. I had like a boatload of calls. I got like 14 or 15 calls yesterday, and the jobs I'm doing this week, I got called during the weekend, so I can't even get to the ones that I got called for this week because I already am booked through the week for, I got a half a dozen other calls over the weekend that, I have to get. So, yeah, so business is good. Got to take it while you get it while the iron's hot or something, strike it while the iron's hot. But, so yeah, see you when I get there. Bye. All right, so here's the nest. Already spitting venom on me. Probably 300 worker nest, and the backstory on this was the couple lives here. The wife saw the nest in May, and it was had like the beak, because the bald-faced hornet queens build like an entrance tube on the bottom of the nest. It looks like an upside down beaker, and then they just kind of let it get out of control and turned into this. So I'm gonna get rid of it today. They've already gone off, and the larger the nest is, the more likely they are to go off. And there's two entrances in this nest. There's an entrance here and an entrance there. You'll see in a minute. What makes this tricky is like the bush there, because I had to set up the ladder, but then I also got to get around it, so I had to go around the other side. So since there's two entrances, I'm actually gonna have to fog them. See how effective this is. Yeah, just the swarm is too big, but I haven't been stung. I'm pretty well protected. It's still nerve-wracking. I've got, 500 bald-faced hornets dive bombing me. But I got to keep my cool and hopefully come out victorious. Yeah, they're peppering me, hammering into me and peppering me with their venom. Should be dropping. Fog should take effect. can see the fog is pretty effective. They've dropped to the ground, most of them. It'll make it a little bit more manageable for me to vacuum. I can just suck up the ones returning. All right, see you. Now this is a unique one, and I say that because the nest of comb set actually fell from this. It was attached to this like vinyl stuff, and it fell. So like all this stuff up here is just envelope. And the comb set, you see there's no combs up there. Comb set actually fell from its original point of attachment. Yeah, this is all just the shell. So I had like 2 or 3 combs, and now these are just the ones returning. I fogged extensively, pretty much fogged the piss out of them. And no, I did not get stung. Here I am, Sulphie. These bald-faced hornets want to get on the camera too. This is their 15 minutes of fame. So I'll just fog them again and maybe run the vacuum. But so yeah, it just depended, because this bush was so tight with the house that really couldn't get my ladder. I had to actually walk around, go to the other side, and get the vacuum hose and vacuum. But then there was 2 entrances, so it was pretty challenging actually. But it was it's fun, and it paid well for it, so all worth it in the end. Going right for my face. Good thing I got this screen on and my hat and everything else. All right. Get back to work. But yeah, the combs fell from this nest. Here's the comb set. As you can see, it was like a 18-inch tall nest, but the combs were at the bottom. They fell from their point of attachment, and they had to kind of start over again. But got 3 levels, and they're working on the 4th. They actually merge. These 2 sets will merge, and eventually it'll just be one full comb set, and this one will get bigger too. You can see larvae and everything. So, yep, that's it. I'll save this one, maybe. All right, ladies and gentlemen, another one bites the dust. August the 7th, 2018. Got a comb set over there. Right. It's calling for thunderstorms tonight, so hopefully the weather holds out. At least before I get down, pretty much finished anyway, but yeah, at least the weather held out for this. All right, a lot of suds, but this is what the vacuum caught. If you can see anything. Glad that one's done. This is the interesting thing about this job, is you never really know what you're getting into. Like, you have an idea of what's going to be involved, but until you actually get out to the nest, like with this one, it had 2 entrances, and the combs fell, so it was definitely interesting and definitely a challenge. I was not stung. It was an adrenaline rush for sure. You just got to keep your cool and get the job done, so they say. But until the next time, all right.